Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, where we decode the confusing world of corporate finance so you don't have to. Today we are digging into a pretty interesting move by the Beachbody Company Inc. Buckle up, because this filing is all about where they are trading and why it matters. Scroll the Beachbody Company Inc. Ested False ACU 000018266889 scroll. So Beachbody is essentially telling the world they are packing their bags and moving their stock from one big stock exchange to another. It sounds like a small detail, but for investors this can mean a lot of things. This particular report is called an 8K. A really important document that tells investors about big changes happening at a company. Think of it as a public announcement for major events that could affect the company's stock price. Scroll the Beachbody Company Inc. site, exact name of registrant as specified in its charter. CIS file Beachbody is the name of our company and they are formally known as the Beachbody Company Inc. They are incorporated in Delaware, which is pretty common for many US companies. This number here is their commission file number, a unique identifier for them with the Securities and Exchange Commission, or SEC. And this is their IRS employer identification number, which is like the company's social security number for tax purposes. Scroll 400 Continental Boulevard, Coffin Suite. 400 Tolteal Segundo, California, AL Segundo, California, Quixote, 90245 scroll. This tells us where their main office is located in El Segundo, California. Registrant's telephone number, including area code L83 9000, 883 9000 scroll SAC, and this is their main phone number if you ever needed to call them directly. There are a few boxes to check here about whether they are sending out special communications, but for this filling, Beachbody is not checking those boxes. Scroll 4 of each class XU tagen, Artegan symbols, TEPS and DEXIV symbol C, X on Bros at common stock, par value $0 air. Scroll emerging growth company Quartzy Beachbody is not currently checking this box, meaning they are not considered an emerging growth company, which usually means they have been around for a bit and meet certain size requirements. Scroll item C301L1 T key T. Notice of delisting or failure to satisfy a continued listing rule or standard. Transfer of listing scroll. This section is the heart of today's report. It's all about a notice regarding their listing. So on August 2025, Beachbody's board of directors decided to tell the New York Stock Exchange NYSE they want to move their Class A common stock. This is a voluntary decision. They are planning to transfer their stock listing to the Nasdaq capital market Nasdaq. And good news for Beachbody, the Nasdaq has already said yes to them listing there. This means that starting September 2nd, their stock will no longer be traded on the NYSE. And the very next day, September 3rd, their stock will start trading on the Nasdaq, still under the same ticker symbol BOD. This is great because it means investors don't have to relearn a new symbol. Scroll item to 7.01 sex, Kais 0101 Kaisid. Keys regulation F disclosure scroll. This next part is about how they are sharing this information with everyone. Beachbody also put out a press release on August 20th. The same day they notified the NYSE to announce this big move. This press release is included with this report as an exhibit, so anyone can read it, scroll the information in item 7.01, including exhibit 99.1 of this current report on Form CAMT 8K is being furnished and shall not be deemed filed for purposes of Section 18 of the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 as amended, the Exchange Act, unless they specifically say otherwise in future filings. It's important for Noventy Exchange Act unless they specifically say otherwise in future filings. It's important for them to Exchange Act unless they specifically say otherwise in future filings. It's important for them to follow these rules to avoid potential problems. This is a bit of legal jargon, but basically it means that while they are providing this information, it's being done in a specific way that shields them from certain liabilities under the Exchange Act. Unless they specifically say otherwise in future filings, it's important for them to follow these rules to avoid potential problems. It's important for them to follow these rules to avoid potential problems. Scroll item times 901S and do C notes and exhibits dot scroll. And finally, this section just lists the exhibits that come with this report. Scroll exhibit Quapol contains important data. Description skest, it's 899.1 and exhibit 10.4 contains important datas. In 104, XCAV RFU press release as exhibit 99.1 and exhibit 100 as we saw. They've included the press release as exhibit 99.1 and exhibit 104 contains important data in a format that computers can easily read. Go Changes call you taken to even state August 20, 2025 calls by POF Savvy Jonathan Jettelfand to Radefan 2's Executive Vice President, Business Sign, Legal Affairs, Corporate Secretary Scroll Sand. Here we have the signatures showing that someone authorised from Beachbody, namely Jonathan Gelfand, the Executive Vice President and Corporate Secretary, signed off on this report on August 20, 2020, namely Jonathan Gelfand, the Executive Vice President and Corporate Secretary, signed off on this report on August 20, 2025. So, what's the big deal about moving from the NYSE to Nasdaq? Well, typically Nasdaq is seen as a market for technology and growth companies, while NYSE might be perceived as more traditional or established. For Beachbody, this move could indicate a few things. They might be looking for a market that better understands or values their specific business model, perhaps seeing more tech-oriented growth potential. It could also be a cost-saving measure, as listing fees on Nasdaq can sometimes be lower than on the NZ, or perhaps they feel Nasdaq offers them more visibility or better tools to engage with investors in their sector. The fact that Nasdaq has already approved this is a positive sign, meaning they've met Nasdaq's criteria. For investors, this change usually doesn't affect the fundamental value of the company overnight, but it can impact liquidity, meaning how easy it is to buy or sell shares. Sometimes a move to Nasdaq can attract a different type of investor, potentially leading to increased trading volume and volatility. It's always wise to keep an eye on how the stock performs after such a transition to see if the market reacts positively or negatively to the strategic shift. Now, my take on this is that moving exchanges is a significant strategic decision. Beachbody is trying to position itself in a market they believe will better serve their current and future growth. They are likely aiming for a more tech-focused investor base, given Nasdaq's reputation. We haven't seen any financial tables in this specific filing, but the fact that they are making this move speaks volumes about their ongoing strategy. It suggests they are actively looking to optimize how their company is perceived and how their stock is traded. It's a move that shows proactive management, but without seeing their latest financial performance, it's hard to judge the full impact. What are your thoughts on Beachbody's move to Nasdaq? Do you think it's a smart strategic play or just a cosmetic change? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this deep dive valuable, please hit that like button and subscribe for more regular corporate insights. And don't forget to join our Discord community linked in the description for more discussions. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.